Have you ever looked at a picture of Gustavo Fring for hours and just think to yourself, he must be so good at getting laid? I know it's a completely normal thing to wonder, but I still think it should be brought into public light. Of all the characters in Breaking Bad, Gus Fring has to be, by far, the one with the most swagger. So you can't help but ask how, in God's name, is this man still single? According to YouTube Sigma Male how-to videos, women should be fighting tooth and nail to be with him. So why aren't they? One potential reason most people agree on is that he might be gay, which is fair to assume. There's a lot of evidence that supports it, and on top of it would prove that he's literally me even more. But I think there's another reason. One that's so secret that only the most devoted of Breaking Bad fans would suspect it. I believe Gustavo Fring is undoubtedly the father of IShowSpeed. I know it. You know it. It's so obvious. The fact that no one's talking about it is appalling to me. And if I were to guess why, it's because all of you people need to be enlightened by some facts and logic. So prepare yourself, because I'm gonna tell you exactly why I believe Gustavo Fring is the father of IShowSpeed.
You unzip, you go to the urinal, and you touch yourself.
They're Chads. That's the bottom line of it. Alone it should be easy enough to understand, but I'm gonna break it down for you. Do you see Gustavo Fring on your screen? Did you see Gustavo Fring on your screen? Look at how he presents himself to us mortal scum. Gustavo Fring irradiates an aura that only Chads would be able to give off. Because Chad mentality is a lot like fine wine. The older it gets, the better it hits. And because Gustavo Fring is a DILF, it's easy to get a taste of his cum. It's easy to get a taste of his chadsmanship. Just look at him. Stoic, intimidating, handsome. The Chad mentality within him is powerful and easy to see. But it's important to note a crucial fact about chadsmanship. It's completely genetic, which serves as a perfect link to tie him to IShowSpeed. And although their connections might not seem clear at first, I assure you, he's a Chad too. Strong, handsome, authoritative. Despite his youth, IShowSpeed has demonstrated a clear Chad mindset that ultimately makes him irresistible to most men. Following back to the fine wine comparison, it's completely logical why he isn't calm and collected like his father. He's only 18, barely even legal. It takes years to gain that kind of wisdom and chadsmanship we all so desperately strive for. But don't worry. As time goes on, and we all inevitably march into our own graves, these two will stand together as well-aged Chads amongst us all.
You have to beat your meat every day. Get the sperm out of your cell every day so you can be hungry.
This one is a little more difficult to explain because it's on the opposite side of the spectrum. Where in Chad mentality, Gustavo Fring excelled and IShowSpeed was only coming of age. But here in quirked up nature, it's the complete opposite. Here, IShowSpeed is king, while Gustavo Fring seems to lack that quirky white boy mentality. But if you think about it, is he really? Searching for his quirkiness may seem hard when only resorting to the Breaking Bad shows, but if you turn to his other work, you can see that his quirkiness goes off the chart.
You look over your shoulder. You see the biggest, most built, erect guy with two little small dumbbells that he's lifting. And I'm wondering, are you okay?
As you can see, although charmed by age, Gustavo Fring embodies a rather hilarious, quirky side to his dark and mysterious outer shell. Not unlike the chaos we, ourselves, have watched with IShowSpeed. Does it really need to be said? His youth and energy gives him the power to be quirked up harder than any one of us ever could dream of. It's a gene he possessed from his father, and it shows. Like legendary figure Alex the Lion from Madagascar 2, IShowSpeed inspires his father into adopting the powerful art of having a quirked up mindset. And for my final reason, I have a bit of a warning to give. The following reason wouldn't make sense to those who haven't memorized every single episode of both Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, along with being engraved in the IShowSpeed community. But having said that, please bear with me and try to find the logic in what I say. With all three reasons now properly explained, That should be enough evidence to convince you they're related. But while making this video, I have discovered something incredible. In 2015, audio was made for an interview with Gustavo Fring regarding questions about his bloodline in Better Call Saul. It was never released to the public, so it may be easy to believe it's lost media, and I was unable to find who the interviewer was in the audio log. But the things Gustavo has to say will shock you.
A lot of fans have been asking questions regarding your sexuality and how that compares to the theory that you might have a son. Is there anything you'd like to say about that?
Although I'd like to keep my sexuality a secret, I have no problems talking about my son, IShowSpeed. He is a great boy with big nipples and a bigger heart, and I love him very much.
Do it be squirtin' though?
I don't know about any of you, but I think that was a very wholesome interview. He just flat out said he thinks his son has a big heart, so it's beyond me why it wasn't made public. But with that comes a new question. If Gustavo Fring is the biological father of IShowSpeed, then who's the mother? She would have to be business-minded like Gustavo Fring, but still possess enough quirked-up mentality to carry the genes over. So who could it be? There's not a lot of confirming evidence to say that IShowSpeed's mother is First Lady Michelle Obama, but I promise that the story I'm about to tell you will fit everything together like a puzzle. You see, the Obama administration undoubtedly supports American-made businesses, and Los Pollos Hermanos, regardless of the meth empire, is indeed an American-made business. So just how Richard Nixon met with the founder of McDonald's, President Obama traveled to New Mexico to congratulate Mr. Fring on his successful American business. But unfortunately for Barack Obama, he took his wife with him to meet up with the Chad. And the moment he turned on his swagger, the two immediately began their affair behind Barack Obama's back. How can you deny it? How can you deny it when he looks like this? Clearly within the same hour of meeting, he had already gotten her pregnant, and being the Sigma male that he is, abandoned her on the spot to return to his money empire. This infuriated Mrs. Obama. To be used like that by a Sigma male? She wanted revenge, so in order to strike back, in 2010 she made a bill, known as the Hunger-Free Kids Act, which replaced all school lunches nationwide with nasty fucking vegetables. And you might wonder, how does this affect Gustavo Fring? Well, do you know what meals were being served in the Albuquerque school district? Fried Chicken Fridays, where Los Pollos Hermanos made thousands of dollars filling in school orders to help feed cafeterias. You don't need to be an expert on Breaking Bad to know how awful a cutoff that money flow could have been. He needed to get that flow back as fast as possible, but with no real power in the White House, he would need to improve it through his other business, the meth trade, so he could charge people more for a higher quality drug, which is exactly why he worked as hard as he did to convince Walter White to join him. So by taking part in Mrs. Obama's affair, he indirectly started a chain reaction, ultimately leading to the death of the cartel, and himself in the process. Do you see how it fits like a puzzle? Only there's one piece left. The baby. Barack Obama already had 2 kids with Michelle. There was no way she could convince him that there was a third one on the way. So instead, she gave birth to him in secret, named the kid IShowSpeed to represent how fucking fast she's gonna get rid of him, put him in a FedEx truck, and shipped him all the way back to Albuquerque, New Mexico to be taken care of by Gustavo Fring. How is it not perfectly clear to you? But it doesn't end there. In order to keep his new child a secret, he gives him a YouTube channel. He tucks him away in a room, buys him expensive streaming equipment, and keeps him so preoccupied with his own hobbies that he wouldn't be able to notice the meth empire. It's perfect. All of it is so perfect, except for one little thing. This man is named Max Arciega, and he is canonically Gustavo Fring's romantic partner. He's gay. I mean, of course he is. He's literally me. Which means he couldn't have been interested in swooing Michelle Obama, right? Well, did you know about the conspiracy theory surrounding Miss Obama? During the president's term, a popular conspiracy theory was made saying that Michelle Obama was secretly a man the whole time. Many people actually believe this. But if it so happens to be true, then that only supports my theory. But if that's true, how could they have a child together, you may ask? I don't know. There isn't a lot much to say about it. Anyway, I'm glad I finally enlightened you with my conspiracy. It was a stretch, but I know that you're 100% convinced that Gustavo Fring is IShowSpeed's father. So until next time, just remember to keep being cute, and I'll see you all the Thursday after this one. Bye.